Wow, this is a beautiful library.
Oh yeah, we've got a huge amount of information here, and files and books and you name it. And in other rooms we've got photographs, incredible thousands and thousands and thousands of photographs of Humboldt County's past. And we've got another room for researching genealogy. So if you're doing your family history thing, we've got your information here.
God, what a place. Now, so where I am in the story is we've covered everything in Fortuna, and I just was at the Eel River Bridge, which apparently he stopped and watched on his way to Eureka. So he came here, from what I understand, and spent about a week in Eureka. And I'd really like to hear from you. What did he do when he was here in Eureka for about a week?
Okay, well, he rolled into town in August of 1911 and stayed at the home of Hiram Ricks, who was just the recently passed mayor of Eureka.
Wow.
And the beautiful home is still there at 10th and G Street. And while he was there, well, one of the things he did while he was there was he wrote an account of his trip so far. So he spent some time actually sitting there writing, as writers do, and then took it down to the local post office and mailed it to Sunset Magazine, where they published it the next month. But other than that, he also he was a guy who liked to enjoy himself, and he certainly did when he was here. He did a lot of fishing and sailing on the bay. In fact, he had sort of a close encounter with a fishing boat that apparently terrified his wife, among other things. And it caused a little bit of damage, but he was okay.
Wait, they didn't actually hit each other, did they?
Well, the stories vary on that, but I think there was probably some damage, or at least emotionally, if nothing else.
Wow, wow.
And what he also liked to do was eat. He was everywhere he went, he liked to sample the local food, and he was really into eating the fish here. Let's see, it was trout, crab, abalone, mussels, clams, and eel. He was particularly keen on the local eel, the lamprey, as technically is called. Even though they didn't have sushi then, he really was into eel. And he did some shopping. The local businesses were very pleased that he arrived, I think, because as well as souvenirs, he bought about, the record is about $500 worth of redwood burl. Wow. Because he was building a new house down in Sonoma County, and he wanted the best redwood, and so he bought it here and put it on the back of his wagon and set off with it. I think some of it he just sent ahead because it was too heavy. But he had a good time here. And he was particularly popular locally because his books were very popular, and Call of the Wild had just recently come out, and there were a lot of fans who were waiting to see him come into town and went to events where he was at. And there's one really nice account of a little girl who was just struck with this author in her presence. And she also wanted to be a writer too. And so she got a chance to actually meet him personally, and she asked for his advice on how to become an author. And basically he said, get a life. You need to have something to write about, which he definitely did throughout his life. He did the most exciting things, and he made sure that all of that influenced his writing. And the article that he wrote in Sunset Magazine was really interesting. It was almost like it was written by the Chamber of Commerce or something, because he was really promoting Humboldt County. And what I want to do is read you a little passage, because this is incredibly fun.
Yes, I'd love to hear it.
Okay, let me see. I got the right page. Here we go. Okay. These comfortably large counties, they are veritable empires. Take Humboldt, for instance. It is 3 times as large as Rhode Island, 1.5 times as large as Delaware, almost as large as Connecticut, and half as large as Massachusetts. The pioneer has done his work in this north of the Bay region. Foundations are laid, and all is ready for the inevitable inrush of population and adequate development of resources, which so far have been no more than skimmed, and casually and carelessly skimmed at that. This region of the 6 counties alone will someday support a population of millions. In the meanwhile, oh, you home seekers, you wealth seekers, and above all, you climate seekers, now is the time to get in on the ground floor.
Wow, I am sold on Humboldt County
Yeah,
with that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course, I think, the fact that he was staying with the mayor, the former mayor, who was also, one of the pioneer families of Humboldt County, the Ricks family. And it was very involved in politics and various business ventures and so forth. We got a picture of him here. He looks like a rather stodgy guy, but he couldn't have been that bad because, Jack London was this sort of radical socialist type. So apparently they got along all right. But one of the interesting things about his stay here, too, was that this was the height of Humboldt's sort of anti-Asian feeling. It's one of those aspects of our history that we are, not proud of. But at the time, folks here in Humboldt were really down on any kind of Asians in the area. So you'd think that this would be a problem for Jack because his valet, Yoshimatsu Nakata, was Japanese. But there are several reasons why probably this didn't cause a problem here in Humboldt. One of them, of course, is that he was the guest of a very prominent, important person in the county, so you don't want to mess with him. Also, of course, London being a celebrity, people were willing to forgive a lot, and they were just passing through. So, this Japanese guy wasn't going to be hanging around. But more important, I think, was that Nakata himself had been a character in one of Jack London's earlier books, The Cruise of the Snark. And so he was a celebrity in his own right. And, people were excited to see him too.
Wow.
What is ethnicity? They were really excited.
Yeah.
So anyway, he stayed in Eureka for about a week. And of course, it's said that his stay may have been prolonged a little more than he anticipated because of a certain brawl in a certain saloon that may have caused him certain injuries. So he had to recover a little bit extra time, but I guess you will get into that later.
Well, it's funny you mention that because that's my next stop.
Oh, okay, great.
In the saloon where this legendary fight is said to have occurred.
Yes, well, there are different accounts of it, but something happened.
Well, I'm going to go to the former saloon myself and go check this out.
Well, the thing about Jack London, he was a really good writer. And like the advice that he gave the little girl, in order to have something to write about, you have to really get into life.
Yeah.
You have to have experiences and go interesting places and see different sights and meet interesting people. And that's definitely what Jack London did. And you can see little aspects of his own personal experiences in all of his books. Possibly even Saloon Problem.
Thank you so much. I've just had a lovely visit with you, and I've learned so much, and I appreciate you spending the time.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming.
And you're going to wish me well on my Jack London adventures.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm
going to go live life like Jack
right,
London
yes.
would do.
Yeah, live it to the full.
All right. Thank you, Pam, again so much.
Thanks for coming.
All right.